Hello, today I'm doing the hashtag 22 double take. It's a VR Tutani Mystic, supportive tarot and modern metaphysicae. And the first prompt is, what are my two most used decks? Oh my darling, sorry, she's distracting me hardcore. Okay, so my most used decks are these two, so I will show you. We have the Sovereign, so those are the backs, and they're just like little word prompts. So you get a word, and then you will have like 3 sentences underneath, and I use it as my word of the day. So every day I'm like, okay, what's the theme for today? And it might be the word, or it might be one of the sentences, whatever just floats my boat, whatever I resonate with, that's what I go for. I might use it to make an affirmation or a mantra, or create something based on my feelings about it. But I do use that every single day. It sits on my desk. It's my desk buddy. Oh, it's on a spot. And then this is my second most used deck. I just got it. I love this bag, guys. It came in a crochet bag. My little heart went ee when it saw it. So these are the Free Your Chakras Oracle cards. All the backs are different, which I love. I love a bit of variety in my decks. And the fronts of the cards look like a name tag, and the colors are based on like the chakra that it represents. So, you know, green for heart chakra, that's upside down. And they all have different sayings based on whether it's balanced, overactive, inactive. And I like to do it just to touch base with my chakras, because I do work with my chakras a lot, and to see where I might need to do some work, some balancing, or some, yeah, just all that jazz, just chill out. So those are the cards. And then it says your 2 favorite decks from this year. So this year was my first year in the tarot and oracle world, and I bought everything this year. Everything, my whole collection came from this year. So my 2 favorite decks, the ones that I just really want to play with almost every day, and I just enjoy them and they make me happy. And this one is going to be an odd one. So this is the Broadbent Sisters clearing cards. This is the backs. The artwork is so simple. It is just like a ballpoint pen, but I love the topics. They're so different and not like anything else. They caught my attention. I did see these on Rose Honey Ritual, and I was like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that mean? And I had to just find out for myself. And the write-ups are gorgeous. They're gorge. I absolutely love pulling from this, like I said, almost on a daily. And it always resonates. It hits home, and I just love, it's like a water-like stillness to this deck that I just love. There's depth, there's tranquility, refracted light, all that sort of stuff, and I just find it really, really, really fun. And then my next favorite deck is in here. I'm not showing you the gigantic guidebook. It's a guidebook made for giants. Okay, like even Andre the Giant would be like, this is big. Anybody want a peanut? And so these are the backs, and these are the fronts. Even the deck itself is really big, and I'm going to struggle. And I hope that's a selfie. This is the Begin Oracle, and oh, I die. I love all of the different cards, the multi-mix collage style, multimedia collage style. Every card is its own jam, its own song. Even in the guidebook too, there's no structure in terms of the write-up. It just does what it wants, and I adore it. It's just so full of different flavors, and I love reading with it. It makes me so happy. They also put a ton of associations with the card, and I really dig that. I love seeing different astrological or gemstone or plant associations. It makes me happy. But this deck is just, it is freaking amazing, and I love it. Oh, I just love the vibe.
It's just the vibe of the thing.
2 favorite books for this year. So my favorite books from this year, I read 402 books. It's the most I've ever read in a year. I don't think like that's what I usually do. That's insanity. But out of all those books, my top 2 were Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. This is a really atmospheric fantasy quest with a female protagonist and sort of a found family aspect. She collects an odd bunch of characters on the way to save her sister from a really gross, violent man who's already killed one of their sisters. It's quite dark and heavy, but it's not. There is a sort of somber tone, but it's also a wonderful adventure There's a bone dog. So this dog, she makes a dog out of bones and it's a companion. And I just can't help it when there's like a cute animal sidekick. But this is very like Halloween-esque. It's got that spookiness to it. And it's about witches. And I just loved it and ate it up. And my next favorite book of this year was, I always forget the name, it's a mouthful. The League of Gentlewomen Witches by India, I think it's Holton. This gave me all of the grins. I was literally grinning like a Cheshire cat. My cheeks hurt after I finished reading the book. But I had such a fun time. There was so much joy coursing through me. It's a light-hearted, witty, funny romance with pirates and witches and flying houses, and it's just a ball. I had a blast reading it. It's nothing heavy, so if you don't want the heaviness, you do want some light-hearted good times, then I highly recommend this book. It's the second in a series. I did not like the first one. I loved the second. Then the next prompt is, what are your 2 favorite like movies and TV shows? And this was hard because this was a stellar year. Look, I am going to go for movies with Thor, Love and Thunder. I know a lot of people didn't like it. It's too bro humory, but I just, once again, I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to laugh and I'm here to just really thoroughly enjoy myself. And this is a indulgence. Do you know what I mean? Like this is my version of a Twinkie. Yeah, there's not a lot of depth to it. I did cry though, guys. I did cry. I am a crier though. I get emotional with films, music. It just, if it hits me, it hits me, and I'm a blubbering mess. And I did cry because there were some heavy themes in here, some themes that I myself, like health issues that I went through, and it just sort of all hit me, like all the culmination of the different aspects. I was like, oh, I'm going down. But I just laugh so much as well. It makes me smile. I love the cinematography. It's so fun and vibrant. And like I said, I like the characters. I'm a sucker for, you know, Marvel. I love Chris Hemsworth as Thor. I think he nailed it. He's got the humor and the, you know, obviously the hunkiness and all that sort of jazz. But I also love Tessa Thompson. I think she's fab. And I had a fantastic time watching this movie, so that's why I had to put it on there. And then for my favorite TV show this year, I'd say it's Wednesday. I'm going with like a new one rather than something that I could continue watching, like Rick and Morty, which has been on point this year. But it has to be Wednesday. It's quirky, it's, you know, gothy. It's got a mix of like, it's a much younger version of Supernatural. It's like the old Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, you know, with Melissa, not the new one, combined with Supernatural. I love it. I think Jenna Ortega is fantastic. She freaking nailed it as Wednesday. I don't feel like it's very true to the Addams family. I will just say that. So I just sort of put the whole past concepts of Addams family behind me and just enjoyed it for what it was. Like Tim Burton does know how to make, you know, a nice story. He tells a story well. I love the music. So I really noticed the choices for the music in this, and I thought they were amazing. I especially loved her cello rendition of Nothing Else Matters. It's one of my favorite songs by Metallica. But I just loved it so much. My daughter also enjoyed it. So it's nice when I can watch something with my kids. Loved it so much. Your 2 favorite craft or hobby things. So one of my main, she got me good, guys. Your favorite craft or hobby projects from this year. So my biggest hobby is reading. I don't really do anything. I keep a reading journal, but I'm not going to show you that. That's boring. So I'm going to choose my favorite things that I crochet because that is my main thing. I wish I could be a watercolor painter. I've tried. I just cannot translate what I see in here onto the paper. There's just a complete disconnect and I cannot do it. So sometimes you just don't have the talent. I'm sure if I watched enough YouTube tutorials, I get it, but maybe one day I'll be a painter. But I'm going to choose my crochet. So crocheting is something I also just started this year. This was the year of hobbies. I started tarot and oracle, I started crocheting, I started taking videos for YouTube. So it's been my year of hobbies following my divorce because that's the way to do it. So this is a hat that I made for my little one. It's not perfect, it's a bit wonky. I would have done this rim the next time if I ever make a hat, no rim. But I wonder if I can fit it on my head. Yeah. So you can have the brim down or you can lift it up, and she likes to flip it. So that is the hat, you know, that's why it's one of my favorite projects because I made it for my daughter. I like giving things to other people. It brings me more joy. And this little handbag. So I made this little handbag for her. This was in a Westloft Greens. I want to go to Brighton, and I put some little charms on it. I made a little heart, and it's got a handle. And this is in Suzette stitch. And she loves it. Oh, I'll do a close-up of the little flowers on the hat because I'm proud of those. So those are the flowers. And yeah, and she loves it. So my two favorite craft projects are this little handbag and this little hat that I made for my 8-year-old, almost 8-year-old, almost. Okay, the next prompt is 2 splurges for this year. One I was happy about, one I was not. So I'm just gonna move these out of view because I can't abide clutter. One of the purchases that I liked, so one of the purchases was a trip to Byron. I haven't left my state since 2019 and I've been waiting. And I'd booked this trip twice. I'd had it cancelled twice because of lockdowns in Australia. We had very severe like border closures. You couldn't cross borders. And I lost my money the second time. So that was fun. And then the third time we managed to go. And look, I think I had my expectations set too high. I was too excited about it. And things just didn't go to plan. Like one of my daughters got an ear infection. It rained the whole time. Byron's had like severe flooding this year. And normally it's their sunny and dry season when we went, but it was just constant rain. And look, there's not much to do in Byron if you're going to be indoors. It is an outdoor place, beaches and everything else, the gardens, all gorge. So we stayed inside. Unfortunately, the house we had, the heater was broken. So we were just all rugged up in all the clothes we owned, and even the gas on the stove was out, so we couldn't even cook. So it was a bit of a schmozzle, guys. There were some beautiful moments, so I held on to those. We managed, I think there was like 3 hours of sunshine, and we just ran to the beach and sat there, compared rocks and shells, and it was too cold to go in the water still. Like the temperature was very cold, even though it was meant to be hot. So yeah, we did have some nice times. And then the next biggest expense from last year was my curtains. So I have a house built in the 1950s. The previous owners did renovate in 1990. So I had curtains from the 90s and they all just broke one after another. It was one of those things, you know, when like everything just goes down at once. So they all broke and I had to replace them. And this is when I got the shock of my life. I did not think curtains could be that expensive. I was like, but how? I'm not even going for expensive fabric. I'm going for the cheapest fabric you have, and yet mind-blowingly expensive. So I really wasn't prepared for that. And unfortunately, the company that I went with, it was the worst customer experience I've had in my life. So I ordered the curtains in April, and not only did they take forever to come and install them, but then they kept coming and they were wrong. They'd been measured wrong. They were the wrong thing. They weren't what I ordered. So it took from April all the way until 2 weeks ago for me to finally get the right product and to have them fitted. And during this time, it was just constant phone calls and emails. And I don't know what's happened to customer service with big companies in Australia lately, but most of the time you can't even get through to talk to someone. No one returns your calls. It's abysmal. It caused me a lot of stress. There were a lot of tears. I just wanted it over and done with. Like I said, they make you pay for it in full before they make the order. So they had my money. I think I even went through, I tried to do a chargeback and they're like, yep, no, it's not going to happen. So yeah, and the final product, I don't like them. If I went through all of that to have a product I like, I'd be like, okay, but I went through all of it and I just don't like them. The way they sit, the way they're made, the palmets have joins in them, they're stained, and I can't, I've got no fight left in me. You know, when it's just a battle is so long that you've got nothing left. And my dad's like, no, but you can't accept this. I'm like, Dad, if I keep going with this, like, I'm going to become very ill. You know, it's like my health is more important and my peace is more important than this at the moment. So it sucks, but you know, it's one of those things again that you just have to like take it, you know, take it on the chin and keep on keeping on. 2 things I'm excited for in 2023. So I am excited for just the summer. Summer is my favorite season. I like to be hot. I don't like to be cold. I love going to the beach with my kids. We've got some beautiful beaches in Australia. It's a bit of a drive, but I love to at least get out there and put my feet in the ocean and feel the breeze on my face and just relax. So I am looking forward to this summer holidays. I actually prefer school holidays over school term because I just don't like the whole school run thing. It actually gives me anxiety having to get them in the morning and pack their lunches, and I actually don't like it. And I see very little of them. They come home exhausted. And also in the school holidays, I actually do get a break. So, you know, their dad takes them for a bit longer and I get a lot of alone time, which is, look, I love my kids, but as an introvert who needs like silence and stillness and not having to be responsible for anyone all the time, I really relish these days to myself. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the summer holidays. Besides that, possible travel. So my partner and I are hoping to get away overseas. at some stage. We're thinking Japan at this point. I love Japan. I went there once with my children, but they were more interested in the theme parks, which I understand, than the history of the place. Like, my favorite part of the trip was going to Kyoto and looking at the architecture and I think the samurai houses. It was just fascinating to me, and I would love to go and explore the culture a bit more. And it's like, it's only 10 hours. It's a 10-hour flight. And it's like, okay, I can handle that. If I was to go to Europe, you know, it's like 20 hours on the plane, and I'm like, I don't know if I can hack it just to be there for a week, because I can't spend any longer away from the kids. You know, a week's the most my ex can do. So I need to probably go somewhere a bit closer so I can spend more time there rather than just spending it all in days in transit. But we're hoping that'll happen. But you know, in this day and age, in this climate, you can't make plans for travel on that anymore. You can't really make plans too far in advance, because things are just shifting very rapidly and you never know. So those were all of the prompts for this thing. I just want to say a shout out to my mate at Amethyst Ascension. She's a darling. I adore you. Thanks for the video, for the gifts that I gave you. Really didn't need to do that. You didn't need to do it, but you said such lovely things about me that I thought I should mention and say thank you for all the lovely things that you said about me. I appreciate it. But that's everything. I had a fantastic first year to tarot and oracles. The community on here is amazing. I have to say that. That's my favorite part of stumbling into tarot and oracle, were all of the people that are on this platform. You're all so lovely and welcoming and supportive. And I love watching all of your videos, and I love chatting to you. And yeah, it's been lovely to be part of like a tarot family, like a YouTube tarot tube. I'm enjoying my journey with tarot and oracle. I don't know where it's going to go, but we shall see. And I hope that all of you have an amazing end of the year and a fantastic start to 2023. And as always, stay wild, Star Child.